Welcome, welcome. So happy you're here with me today. And if you find something that you like or are inspired by, please think about subscribing. Okay, let's look at this piece. Isn't this kind of weird? I thought so too, but I love it. Of course, I love everything I do, don't you? If you've been around here very long, you know that one. But I call this Illusions in Watercolor. And that's kind of what it reminded me of, and I love it. And its simplicity is beautiful to me, and I'm going to, not embellish it anymore. I'm simply going to stitch it at this point. And but I wanted to just show you how to start if you want to do something like this. Get your background, whatever you're going to use for your background, and then get some gauze. Now, my gauze came on a roll like this, all right? And when it rolls off, it's folded over, it's doubled. So I undoubled it, and what you get is a lot thinner piece that way. You could see the difference in the thickness of the two sides. So if you unfold it, whatever you cut off, unfold it, you'll get this thinner piece, and that's what I used on mine. And then what I did was I took it and just roughed up the edges some more, making sure that we just don't have really straight edges. Just okay. Well, we need the more frayed edges because we're giving the illusion of watercolor here. When watercolor, everything blends. It runs and blends, and that's what makes it so beautiful. And so we get it a little textured like that, and then maybe we skew it just a little. Diagonally helps get it loosened up to where it's not going to just, fall straight in there. Okay, just work on it. If you tear a hole in it, don't worry about it. It's just part of the design. Okay, then we're going to lay it down, and we're going to scrunch it, but we're not going to try to make it do what we want it to do. We're just going to try to let it do what it wants to do until we get a look that we like. And I would go with that. Okay. And then when we get this background, we get some gauzy fabrics. Now, where I get my gauzy fabrics is from scarves. I go to the thrift store and I look for gauzy, really thin gauzy scarves. And then those I cut up, and as you can see, they fray beautifully. The texture of them is just wonderful, and the colors are everywhere. Then I get these gauzy fabrics and little pieces of them. Let's see. Let's get this one. Make sure that you fray all the sides and edges. So again, that helps to give the illusion that things are running and flowing into each other like a watercolor. Okay. And as you place them around the way you like them, okay, let's look again at the one I have over here that I'm going to be working on. As you lay them out and play them around, you'll get a look that you like. Okay. Now I did add some just white because that helps with the contrast. And don't cover up the folds in this background, because that gives you the shadow and the light, and that gives you the depth feeling that it's dimensional. If you cover those up, everything just looks flat. So work your pieces in and around those deeper, darker folds. All right, and that will be good there, okay? All right, I'm going to go to the stitching stage next, so hold on. I've got one strand of floss in my needle. I'm using that because it's enough to attach strongly, but you're not going to be able to see a lot of my stitching unless I place them exactly where I know I want you to see them. That makes a lot of sense, doesn't it? But most of my stitching will be basically just to get it down. A little of my stitching is going to be for kind of a flow or blending effect. For instance, I'm coming with this color that matches this darker, and I'm coming into the edge of this lighter color here, and I'm just going to put a couple of longer stitches in there as if some of the darker color were bleeding over into that lighter color. And I'll do this throughout on a lot of the pieces. I'll work some of the colors back and forth. Right now I've got the darker color, but then I'll come back with the lighter color and bleed it over into the darker color with a couple of stitches. So all that is doing is helping our eye to simulate that this color is flowing and kind of like watercolor. And the thread color play in there helps us to get that effect, okay? We can't do it with watercolor, but we can do it with thread to an extent, okay? All right. Okay, we got a little of that down there. Let me, got thread hanging on me here. Get it off here. Okay, let's go around here and let's go ahead and get all of this edge down before I forget about it. I can take that out of there. Okay, we're going into this white area, so we'll do a little bit of fading with this dripping color with this thread here. Okay. Kind of like you do feathers. When I was doing my birds, and I wanted the feathers to have some action, so I use those long stitches. Okay. And when I come back with my white color again, I will take my white and overflow a little of that into the darker green area. And that, between the working the two colors that way, we'll get a sense of mixing color like watercolors. Okay, so this piece isn't stark white anymore. It has some of the background color in it. And what I'm hoping to achieve is when I get through with everything, all my stitching, that my colors will blend and flow like a watercolor effect. I am not trying to tack down on my edges tightly either. I want some dimensional look, so I'm leaving some of my, edges to be raggy and free flow and I even encourage that when I get through by fluffing. Let's see, I haven't got that sewn yet. Better not fluff that. Fluffing some of their edges back. Okay, right, like that. Now, when I complete this one with the gauzy colors, like the watercolor, my next thing to play with here and try is to use the same type of background and play with threads instead of the gauzy color. See what that looks like. I think it would be a pretty effect. Not a watercolor effect as such, but just a pretty thread play. Very delicate look here. Now you could do something like this and then use it for your background for your slow stitch piece, whatever it is that you have in mind. This would make a wonderful underwater scene, I think. It would make a wonderful garden scene. How about lilies on a pond? We can imagine all kinds of things, can't we? Okay. All right. Okay, I'm going to take my green and jump up here and use the last bits of it up here. Don't got much. While I'm working the green, you notice I'm not putting a bunch of long stitches inside of that. Again, I don't want the stitching to show as much as I want the gauze to show. But now I'm out here to the edge and I'm going to bleed a couple of longer stitches over on the edge. Oops, come back here. To get again some of that, little bit of that play of color. I think we're going to have to finish him off. Yep, let's take our 3 stitches back here. Okay. So far we're looking pretty good. This side is pretty basically down. Okay, all right. Now let's see what I'm going to look for. Got a little bit of brown, but I'm thinking that is just too dark. What can I do? That's too light. About still a little bit light. This one's darker. Still a little bit light. Okay, I know I got some darker stuff in here. Let's find it. Now that one might work well. That one's going to do pretty good, I think. Let's try it. Okay, I'm going to stitch on this some more, then I'll come back and I'll show you how it looks when I'm done. Here we are with it finished. The thread work, all the thread work that I want to do is done. And like I said, I want some of these pieces to have little edges that are up so that it just simulates some dimensional look in there and not all plastered down. Now let's try that in a mat and see what it might look like. Okay, isn't that pretty? Isn't that pretty? What a lovely piece of just color, a color wash, a flow of color. Isn't that pretty? The soft, gauzy fabrics just give it that soft look. If you wanted to soften it down even more, you could try using a little piece of the tulle and laying that on. That gives you almost a misty look. If you wanted to use it for something and you wanted a more misty look, and you could apply something on top of this. Like I said, it could be a background art. I love it just like it is. It just looks like a piece of watercolor art or Impressionist art, just like it is. And that would be very, very nice. Let's see what I might have we could play with here a little bit. Look at some different things. What if we... It's just a huge flower, but you know, if you want to get a little crazy and put a huge flower on it, wouldn't that be pretty together? Okay, let me see what else I might have on my desk. I didn't have a lot of things out here, but I do have another one of those flowers in different colors. Let's see how the color play changes it. I like the darker one, don't you? Yeah, this one just doesn't do anything for it. So that darker one did. That looked really good on it. But the point being that you could use this for anything you wanted to use it for. I think a gorgeous junk journal cover. It'd make a beautiful page in just in a slow stitch book. It's just all kinds of things. It's just beautiful, just like it is. Now, like I said, I'm going to do another one where instead of the gauze, I'm going to be using thread play. I haven't done it before, just want to test it out. So I'll share my results with y'all here and see what we get. But this is very easy, and it's very quick actually. Doesn't take that long to lay it out and then to stitch it. Now again, if you wanted to come in with some beautiful embroidery work through here, wouldn't that be pretty over the top of some of this? Multiple uses here. Okay, I hope you're ready to do an illusion of watercolor. Until next time, stay scrap happy.